All right, I think we're live. Okay, cool.
Are
Hello,
we?
everybody, and welcome to not another episode, but a brand new show.
A reboot.
Yes, reboot. This is called the L3R3 podcast. Mike came up with that. It's an awesome name,
Hello.
so
Hmm.
appreciate that on Mike's part. But I mean, I guess we should get into like intros so we can actually talk about the thing that we're talking about today. Which, if you guys don't know, I mean, I'm sure everybody
I
can
guess
kind of
yeah, I haven't been on
assume.
Twitter. I guess.
Yeah, what we're going to talk about today is probably going to be very obvious, and it's in the title. So, uh, I just start with intros. I mean, Mike, let them know
Um,
what you're up to, what you've been up to, and how you're
what I've
doing.
been up to, I've been playing tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of classic Battlefront 2, like a crazy amount, especially of it modded. Um, there are just some fantastic mods out there to essentially recreate that entire game. Um, and it's been a really fun time. It feels like kind of going down like memory lane almost. How much fun I used to have a game with that game as a kid, but now it's expanded upon. Um, so I've been having so much fun with that. Outside of that, realistically, I feel like, outside of the finals, like we've been playing the finals almost every single night now for like the last month plus. That game is
Yeah,
just
since
incredible.
Christmas.
Um,
Since Christmas.
yeah, since Christmas, it's genuinely one of in my even though there's so much broken in it, has one of the best potential, has some of the most potential into becoming something genuinely fantastic.
Yeah,
I feel really good about that game's future if they stay on the ball with bug fixes and balancing, and bringing in new features, maybe some new weapons and such. I feel like the light class needs either some rebalancing to some of their guns, but that's a different conversation altogether.
yeah.
Outside of that, I mean, I've been listening to more music lately. I mean, I got into a new band, which I told you a little bit about, that I've been really enjoying because,
Hello, Bill.
hey, Bill, thank you for stopping
Oh,
by. Um, Especially because a band that more relates to history, which I love. Um, but outside of that, I mean, I play my usual Doom Eternal, casually. I say casually as I'm like playing like my life depends on it, but you know, just the usual.
Okay, Antoine. What about you, bud?
I mean, the main thing I've been playing was I've been started did Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. That game's amazing. Sorry.
No, you just go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. That game's so far fantastic. And then also Persona 3 Reload just came out recently as well. Been playing that as well. So I'm kind of like juggling between the two right now. It's like it feels like an all you can eat buffet right now because these are two games I've been waiting for. I just kind of hate that they released a week apart because I kind of wouldn't wanted them to be a bit more spread out, but it is what it is.
I think I just
But
want to say something real quick, Matt. I think something's up with the title of the stream here. It says L3R3 Xbox games coming to PlayStation seems more real than every.
then every
Every oh my god, thank you. Yeah, Bill, Bill just sent me a message about that. Appreciate you,
Oh,
bud.
that's
that's
funny.
hilarious.
Thank you, Bill. Oh, I just see the
We'll
I see the
change
message
it.
from Bill now too.
We'll
That's
change it.
funny. Then
Can we
every.
change it, Mitch? Can we change it midstream? How's that
I'm
work?
pretty sure I can. I'll
Yes,
figure it out.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, those are the two games I've pretty much been playing. So yeah, that's honestly it.
Emperor.
Fantastic games, really good games, man.
Oh
Sounds
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. As
All right.
as for myself, wait, what? Oh shit, never mind.
What?
I
Yeah.
I thought I was confused. I heard something. I was just confused at what I heard. All right.
No worries.
As for myself, I mean, Death Stranding. I've been playing that
Oh, I actually
because
did. I actually was playing Death Stranding before, like 3 weeks ago, before Like a Dragon came out, and I actually really like it. Honestly, been liking a lot. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. It's a
that's
really good
yeah,
game.
it's a really, really, really good game. I need to beat it. I beat like 90% of it on like when it came to PC Game Pass, and then it left, and I got distracted by a bunch of things, so I never got to
Mhm.
finish it. So now I'm playing it again on Steam, and I'm gonna beat that. Finals pretty much every night, and Halo Firefight. as of recently with the new update and everything. But as for myself, I think that's pretty much it for myself. Yeah, Death Stranding, Finals, and Halo.
You
So
know what? I want to tell Bill since he's here. Sorry to
yeah,
talk over you, Matt. I am gonna try out Death Stranding sometime soon.
Mhm.
Um, um, so I am gonna try that out soon. Sorry, I just got sidetracked looking at my phone real quick. Just wanted to say that because Matt's been playing it lately, and I've been hearing him talk about it, and Vinny's talking about it. So I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see how that goes. We'll
I
see how that
highly
goes.
recommend it. I'd like to see you stream that game. That would
You
be a
know what?
fun game to see you stream.
Okay, I'll do
Um,
it. I'll do it.
so Bill already is talking about it in the chat. I mean, we're gonna talk about the topic today, which is Xbox has some plans that a lot of people,
The white flag plans.
a lot of people are really not happy with. I've made a video on this, giving my thoughts.
Yeah.
I have a video coming out tomorrow that I made before the news today. That I made like early AM today.
Mhm.
So
Amazing.
it's still relevant, but there's some things missing, like Starfield and Indiana
Yeah.
Jones.
Uh-huh.
But like today, everybody's freaking out, and that is because Xbox hasn't announced, but a lot of people have announced it for them.
Yeah,
Their
man, where there's
plans
smoke, there's fire.
to bring. Before it was Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves. Now you're also hearing about Indiana Jones and Starfield to PlayStation consoles. So I mean, I'm gonna let you guys go because I do obviously have thoughts on this, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Specific, Tawan, why don't you start us off since you're
Ooh,
probably the most PlayStation centric person here.
yeah,
So
I think that's no secret that I'm usually more of a PlayStation guy. I think that's no
yeah,
secret.
so you start us
I'll tell
off,
him the
bud.
story about our original name we had later, though. That'd be kind of
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
I mean, if we
We
want
should
to,
tell him
but
later.
yeah, it's
Um,
yeah, this is a really bad situation, honestly. Like, I mean, it's just if you go on Twitter, it's an absolute shit show, honestly. When you go on Twitter, it's just like there's a lot. Obviously, this is like pretty bad, honestly, when you consider just like the grand scheme of things, because it's just bad for competition, especially if you're gonna put literally like it seemed like at least from what I could hear, it's like pretty much essentially like the whole slate from what I could see. Like like Starfield, Hi-Fi Rush, and now where else? Indiana Jones apparently is also supposed to be coming.
yeah,
Like I think it's pretty much safe to say like Blade probably won't be exclusive. Like I think most of us are like pretty confident that that's going to be the case
yeah,
at this point. Yeah, I heard even like apparently also the new It Software game was exclusive, but then now they're gonna be like, oh, never mind, it's gonna be multi-platform now. So, like, who knows? Who knows what's going on right now? But like I said, I mean, nothing has actually been officially confirmed yet. So, but Phil Spencer has been really quiet for the past month. So there's it's very sus right now, like very sus. So
sus.
I
very
would,
very
I would,
sus.
I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Vincent Vega, appreciate you for stopping by. Ziggy Zoggy, appreciate you for stopping by. Mike, what are your thoughts? Because we've talked about this a lot in party chats. But
Yeah.
what do you? How do
Oh
you
yeah. I mean,
feel
I can.
about this whole thing, especially now that you're hearing about Starfield and now Indiana Jones, and which leads you to believe that other things as well. So how do you feel?
So, as a person that exclusively plays on computer, that sold his PlayStation to afford his computer, I mean, this is easily buy parts for it, and I only keep my Xbox to play original Xbox games.
Yeah,
I
backwards
am very
compatibility will
happy.
still be a reason for
Yeah,
me to keep
I
it,
mean, the
honestly.
backwards is the reason I held on to it. I would have sold
Yeah,
this a long time ago if it was not for
yeah,
me being able to play Time Splitters, Conquer
yeah,
Live and Reloaded, and
yeah.
all those other games on.
Hmm.
Um, but it has a great purpose for me to still have it. As a person that literally just plays on computer, I'm really happy to see that the games, but I'm gonna get a little bit deeper than just that. I'm happy that people that can maybe only afford the one console, will be able to, especially from that point of view, because I remember being a kid and I could only really afford one at a certain point,
Mhm.
and being sad I couldn't play something else. However,
Yeah.
the one thing though, I will admit that I'm a little precautious about, and I'm kind of curious how they're going to handle it moving forward. Is because if I'm not mistaken, with Game Pass, they're talking about how they really want to sell prescriptions.
Prescriptions. I'm
Microsoft
just
pushing
picturing everyone
pills.
with Xbox just getting like glasses.
Yeah.
Just,
No, I was talking
yeah.
about thinking the drugs. Never mind
Get my
though.
Starfield glasses.
But Game Pass prescription, yes, Game Pass subscription.
Yeah.
Sorry. The one thing I kind of worry about is that what really helps with all of that is having a tight knit ecosystem
Yeah.
that it really benefits when things are only on Xbox and PC and
Mhm.
they're crossplay.
Yeah.
It kind of, I feel like, gives people more of a reason to be deeply involved in it.
Hmm.
I kind of The one things I do worry about is a possible, and this is not like it'd be even overnight, and it really once again is going to really greatly depend on how Microsoft handles all of this, because that's the
Hmm.
biggest thing right now. I couldn't give a shit less where these games are going.
Yeah.
I'm not like 16 anymore and
Yeah.
a raging console fanboy.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, like I'm pretty sure everyone here we have like access to like all the games essentially.
All the
Like
games, and I think
Yeah.
yeah,
the
like
more the
it
people
doesn't
that
matter what
have
platform
to,
it goes on.
but I do have a slight worry depending on how these games will be introduced onto other platforms and how it will
Mhm.
affect the Xbox ecosystem and Game
Yeah.
Pass as
Yeah.
a whole, and how fast these games get onto those platforms.
Hmm.
More so because, you know, once again, I am not a businessman. I feel like I shouldn't have to frickin' say that, but if I was a person that didn't own an Xbox or a PlayStation, um, but I also have an opinion to add on to this. If I didn't own one and I was like, all right, I can get all the games on PlayStation either day one or a year
Just
or half
or
a
a
year
few months
later.
or 5 months, like
Yeah,
what Indiana
yeah,
Jones is saying,
I,
or in
so like,
Doom's case, possibly even day one, possibly.
yeah,
That's what some
exactly.
people were
Then
saying.
I would absolutely just go with a PlayStation. I'm sure
Yeah.
Microsoft would be just as happy with that,
Yeah.
to some degree. However, I worry that will this also cannibalize or possibly even affect the overall. Once again depends on how it's handled, like
Hmm.
Game Pass and the importance of it,
Yeah.
because I remember the old Phil Spencer quote: "We want to put great games and experiences on places
Where Game Pass exists.
um, where Game Pass exists."
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to me, I worry about, is the Game Pass no longer a focus of pushing
Yeah.
it? Is Xbox as an ecosystem that's kind of all in one and encompassing that goes essentially everywhere with you, not really a plan anymore? Is it still a plan but kind of on the back burner? And also,
Mm.
if it's not a plan, and they're also well aware of the fact that this might cannibalize or kind of shrink the Xbox community. Maybe I don't like saying it like this, like they're being hostile about it, but it's possible they don't care, and
Mhm.
understandably so, because I sat there and thought about it, like, oh shit, this could be like the deathward spiral of Xbox, and I'm like, no, I mean, once again, depending on how it's handled, but then I came to realize they literally own some of the most popular, and successful, uh, most I love how I had the actual proper term, and as soon as I actually need to say the word, it falls out of my goddamn head. Some of the most popular and well-known IPs and franchises in general in the world. They have Call of Duty, they got World of Warcraft, they got Overwatch. I'm pretty sure it's grown over to the point where, and I'm not saying they're going to kill off Xbox overnight. I'm not dooming and glooming like that. I think that, some people need to dial it back a bit. I understand the concerns of it, because uh, but once again, I get why they're freaking out, because we've gotten nothing from Phil, Sarah.
Mhm.
Um, but I think really that they have some of the best IPs, and and it's funny me saying that would piss off a certain group of people, but
Mhm.
I'm not really interested in how they feel about it. Um, it doesn't matter. They don't need Xbox as a sole or Game Pass anymore to really make them owning all these studios make sense anymore.
Yeah.
It's more so right now. It's understanding how is this going to affect Xbox's whole ecosystem as a whole. That's more so that what I'm worried about and curious about than these games going multi-platform. Because if all of a sudden people are like, oh, I can just get a PS6 and get the new Halo, they're gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna unsub from Game Pass, sell my Xbox, and go buy a PS6 and just go play Halo.
Yeah.
And that might make it developers less interested to put their games onto Game Pass, like third-party devs and all that, and indie devs. And it might just drop an overall incentive for them to even maybe put their own games on. But that would have to be a deathward spiral that's like insane. Like that would have to be like I can't really even imagine that exactly happening. But it's kind of a thought. And once again, though, nothing's confirmed. Even though from what we're seeing from like Tom Warren and Jez Corden, it's kind of seeming like it is going to be going that way. So at the moment, instead of having a mental breakdown like a lot of people on Twitter, I'm just going to kind of step away and just kind of see how yeah, that's actually, you know what? To many people, I'm sorry, I don't mean to derail by reading a comment that quick. Not to oversalt in the soup, but really caught in Overwatch and Diablo are not the premium. You know, you're not even completely wrong with that. But I would at least argue that they are big enough IPs where it's possible they could either fix and turn around the ship on those games, and they at least catch people's eyes. I feel like they have a better chance of pulling in instant revenue than, like, I don't know, like Towerborn's gonna, or even Hi-Fi Rush. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right though. That's also something, like these IPs aren't what they used to be anymore. So I'm more so worried about the overall picture, because in the bubble, I don't want people having to be on specific consoles to play this and that and this and that. It fucking sucked. I hated it as a kid. I fucking couldn't stand it as a kid. But I also kind of understood that's the way it was. But at the same time, though, if I could think of a kid that has a console and he's like, hey, I can play, I don't know, the new Spider-Man, and I can go play Halo, and I'm like, you go, little Jimmy, go have fun. But me, as someone that is pretty involved in the ecosystem, I am kind of interested in the overall implications of what this means. Are they relying on the fact they have well-known IPs? Like, what are they? I don't know what their thought process, which is why we need to wait for Phil, Sarah, and everyone else. Maybe
not
even
even
himself.
a word. Like, not even a word from them. Yeah.
Maybe we need God himself at this point.
No. Yeah.
What do you think, Matt? What do you think, Matt?
I listen. My whole thought process on this hasn't changed, really, since the beginning of it, or at least not drastically since the beginning of it, and that is, much like Mike. I really don't care where these games go. I don't care that more people get to play these games, because I'm still playing them. Excuse me, Jesus. Because I'm still playing them, where I want to play them. I also think, I mean, especially now, we're hearing of Indiana Jones and Starfield, and before it was just Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves. I think and we also heard, I believe it was you who brought it up, and I think I also saw it on Twitter earlier, that Tuan brought it up in our chat, that there's fierce debate over this within Microsoft.
Internally in Microsoft, yeah.
So I'm wondering, because I'm wondering because I don't think that's going to be everything, because they just put out a blog, what is it, Xbox Wire post about exclusives. So it's like, and hey, if it is everything, then that was a really tone deaf thing to put out.
Yeah, honestly.
So I don't,
especially if we're gonna announce this. Some people are saying they're announcing this in like spring or some shit. No,
like they can't. That's another thing. Really quick, they can't hold off a statement on this until spring. This is something that now that Indiana Jones and Starfield
right now,
now that Indiana Jones and Starfield is out there, you have to address this week. And if you
Yeah.
don't, then it's going to be worse next week.
Yeah, it's
and
it's not
and the
this
week
isn't
after that.
Yeah, this isn't just Hi-Fi Rush anymore. This is like the big dogs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have you have to do something. You have to make some sort of statement. And whatever that statement is, even if you guys don't really know what you're doing right now, you have to
Yeah.
make that clear. You
Yeah.
have to make that clear to everybody, because right now you've got insiders and sources leaking all this information to people, and it's not helping.
Yeah,
Like
not a good look at all.
just being quiet is not helping. It's doing the exact
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah, it's
Like,
actually hurting. People were like, "Oh, it's confirmed," like that's it. That's what people were getting
yes,
at it.
and what it also does, and I fully believe that, and I'll tell you guys why, but I fully believe that Starfield and Indiana Jones will be, and you also brought up Blade earlier.
Yeah.
I've like, the more I see of this, the more I fully believe that those will be on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And for me, like I said,
Mhm.
I really don't care. It does
Yeah.
not really affect me at all.
Yeah.
But like, it just, like, not saying anything allows people to make other things up. It allows
Yeah.
somebody later
You could
this
go off
week
the
to go.
rails.
It
Yeah.
allows somebody
Oh,
later this
Halo
week to be
Infinite's
like,
coming out
yeah,
now. Yeah.
Hellblade's coming also.
Yeah.
It also allows somebody to be
Just
like,
a month later. Yeah.
Avowed's coming.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
why I
like,
just want to say real.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, you go on,
Yeah.
Matt. It's your turn. Sorry
what,
about that.
what's up?
Oh, well, that's why I just wanted to say, just to
Yeah.
talk about something we are talking about, like, I think 3 weeks ago when Tuan wasn't able to make it on one of our podcasts.
Yeah.
Why people are having like these essential mental breakdowns when there was just a possibility of Hi-Fi Rush
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah.
what is the line? Like, what
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
different about this game from this other game?
Mhm.
And that's something I think, and it's like, it's like, I don't agree with the hysteria, but
I
like,
mean, yeah. I
they
mean,
had a point.
yeah, like what Jez said, right? He said like he's essentially opening up Pandora's box when you put Hi-Fi Rush out there, because it's like, yeah, when do we say, like, okay, like when do we draw the line?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
so yeah, I fully agree with him when he says that, right? You're just opening up Pandora's box, and pretty much everything's on the table at that point.
Thanks
Like,
for letting me get that out, Matt. I just wanted to say before
Yeah.
I forgot.
You're fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, it allows people to draw other conclusions and
Yeah.
run with other stories and say things that are confirmed when they're not confirmed, and
Yeah.
it just gives people clout to make up
Mhm.
lies, potentially. So I
Yeah.
mean, this is something you have to address. Also, like, for me, like, I suspect, and this is coming from someone with no knowledge of the inner workings of Microsoft, but just outside looking in, especially after what happened during the FTC court cases and everything, it seems like, and Mike hinted at it a little bit earlier. I don't know if that was on the show, if that was like us just talking before the show. I'm not entirely sure. But it seems like ZeniMax is not thrilled about their games being only on Xbox and PC. That's what
Yeah,
that's kind of what it seems like. And something that lends credence to that is the fact that Pete Hines, in the leaked email documents,
Mhm.
was very clear that he didn't understand why Activision Blizzard was going to
Yeah.
be
It's like,
getting
yeah.
this special treatment while
Mhm.
their games are locked to only two platforms.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, ABK, you can release Call of Duty anywhere. It's like, and he was
Yeah.
asking questions, why is that the case? And if
Yeah.
Pete Hines is leadership at ZeniMax, or ex-leadership, he's not there anymore, but if Pete
Yeah.
Hines was leadership there and he's thinking that, then you would imagine that a lot of people under him probably also feel the same way. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what a lot of this comes down to. I feel like that's when Tuan says there's massive internal debate happening at
Yeah.
Microsoft right now because of this. I think a lot of that internal debate is coming from ZeniMax, because you look at, I mean, Hi-Fi Rush. The only game that isn't tied to ZeniMax that we've got so far is Sea of Thieves, and Sea of Thieves
Yeah.
makes total sense to me, because it's like it's a fucking live service game.
Live
like
service.
nobody
Yeah.
like I really don't care if I don't care if
Yeah.
these games go to other places, but I really don't give a shit if Sea of Thieves goes to another. I extra don't care because
Extra don't care.
because it's a live service game. It's like,
Yeah, it's
why
like
the
Fallout
fuck would
76, you know? It's
yeah,
like,
why would you not want it on
yeah,
everything? Plus, it's like
yeah.
6 years after. It's like, what is it, 6 or 7 years after that game released?
Yeah, it's like back in like the Xbox One days, you know? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, like that was like an early One X game. So
Yeah.
like at that point, you've already made all the money you can from the PC and Xbox players. Why would you not put that everywhere to make more money? It just makes sense. But
Hmm.
like everything else besides Sea of Thieves is tied directly to ZeniMax. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I think what's happening is ZeniMax is making it known that they feel a certain way and they want their games to be on more things than just Xbox and PC. And I feel like
Hmm.
Microsoft probably is putting up a little bit of a fight, but at the end of the day, I
Yeah.
mean, you don't want to sour relationships with everybody. It, it's
Yeah.
it's it it's like it's a tough line to walk because they could either say, "Hey guys, sorry, but we bought you. Get over it,"
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
or they can play ball and be the nice guy. And I feel like Microsoft's in a position. Again, this is all just speculation. I
I
don't
don't
know
even
what the
blame
fuck.
them for playing like don't not wanting to play the nice guy because at the end of the day, ZeniMax and Bethesda games were trailing downwards
Yes,
massively on what
yes,
they
Hmm.
were making, and they're essentially were saved, quote unquote. I mean, technically saved by being bought out. So I really,
sure,
as much as like I would
Hmm.
love think, but I also kind of don't blame Microsoft being like, hey, we're kind of the reason you're like not making a live service game right now.
Hmm.
Like, like
yeah,
in the
Who
live
knows?
service
Redfall
gets us
probably would
out.
have turned out even worse for all we know. Like,
Yeah, it's
oh
like
yeah.
I mean
yeah,
I don't want to even say I don't want to
Yeah.
belittle the developers like that. So I don't even mean it like
Uh,
that because I these are very talented team. Like it is my favorite game studio
yeah.
of all time. I am playing Doom
Nothing but
Eternal as
bangers.
we speak.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
playing Doom Eternal as we speak. So I
Yeah.
don't want to say it like that, but I don't blame Microsoft for being like, yeah, but it's like, we can fund you to make all this whatever you want of
Yeah.
any variety and it's like, yeah, you have to have it on Xbox PC and like but
Yeah.
like you get to make whatever you want. And but I get it though, as a developer you want more people to experience your games.
Yeah.
Um
yeah, and
but like yeah, I it's such a weird situation.
yeah, and the point I was making was like eh, leadership, like the leadership at studios. Like there's certain studios who have leadership that's like you would consider untouchable.
Mhm.
Like for again this is all just a theory. This could entirely be wrong. But if, for example, let's say Marty Stratton was like, I want my stuff to be on all the consoles. I want to be able to play that everywhere. And if Todd Howard was like, I want to be able to play all of this stuff everywhere. Like, if people like that are saying that, you know, like, sure, Microsoft can be like, listen, guys, we bought you. You're going to have to deal with this. But at the same time, is that something you want to do? Also,
Yeah.
is that the PR that you want? Is it something that you want? Because eventually those guys are going to move on, retire, and everything, and they're going to do interviews and they're
Yeah.
going to talk about what happened when they were bought out because that's going to be a very big talking point for many years. They're going to
Yeah.
talk about what happened when they were bought out by Microsoft. And if Todd Howard goes on an interview after he retires and says, "Yeah, they came in and pretty much just fucked all of us," like that's not something. That's definitely not something you want. So it's like
Exactly. So
it's one of
yeah.
those things like as much as I get the idea of like Microsoft being like, yo, we saved you. You guys need to get over it. At the same time, I also would understand if this is what's happening, if their thought process was, well, shit, okay, well, fucking, we'll bite the bullet for it. We'll do this if that makes you happy. And again, like I said, this is all just speculation. Could be entirely off base, but I just look at the games announced. They're all tied to ZeniMax. Now, if we start here now, because if it happens this week or whenever it happens, we get a statement from Xbox, and they're also talking about shit like Hellblade. they're talking about shit like Avowed, like Halo, like
Yeah.
shit like that, then I'd be like, okay, well then we're just doing everything. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
as it stands right now, the games we have, it all seems live service or ZeniMax.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I mean, like I said at the beginning of all this, it's hard for me to conjure up any strong emotions. I also don't think that this is something that's going to lead to, or at least not anytime soon, to the downfall of Xbox. Because I feel
Oh, what,
like,
you don't think it's like the fall of the Roman Empire?
yeah, I don't think it's going to lead to the fall of consoles for Xbox. Simply because, and again, speculation on my part, but I would imagine as a business, especially being around since digitally, having a footprint since like the 360 era, you probably have a, I mean, well, not probably, you have a lot of customers who have built up huge libraries of games since then, and to just say, hey, we're done with consoles now, all that stuff you bought is wasted money.
Mhm.
That's another bad look for Microsoft, and
Unless
probably
you're
some.
Nintendo, then they don't give a fuck doing
Well,
that.
yeah, Nintendo doesn't care about that. But like for Microsoft, that's a bad look,
Yeah,
and the big tech company that already has a bunch of scrutiny probably doesn't want another,
another one.
just another
Mhm.
check mark against them. So before Xbox as a console could ever go away, I would imagine they would have to have something else in place to say, hey, all the games that you bought since the 360 are now available on this thing.
Or PC.
But
I don't know.
But the thing is, yeah, that's the closest thing they have is the Microsoft Store on
Yeah.
PC, and not
Yeah.
everything that you buy on Xbox is cross buy with the Microsoft Store on PC.
Unless they get Microsoft Windows backwards compatible with 360 and OG Xbox games, if they make that possible somehow. Who knows?
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
see, like, I see the doom and gloom
The death of
about,
platforms.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see, or I do see the doom and gloom about Xbox, especially like the console, like all these. Well, if they're gonna do this, then that means we're not getting another Xbox. It's like, dude,
I don't see that. Yeah, no,
I don't
no way.
I don't think that Xbox, again, speculation. I don't think Xbox is
Mhm.
going away as a console is going away anytime soon. Anytime soon enough for you to be worried about it. To be quite honest, Vincent Vega says at least Nintendo stuff is easily modded for archiving purposes. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. But I mean, for this whole thing with
Xbox is
Xbox,
acquiring PlayStation. You heard it here first.
I'm not shitting you. I saw somebody. I think that I'm pretty sure they were joking. I'm like 99%
Oh my
certain they were
god.
joking, but they were like they were
Okay.
making the joke of like,
I'm scared about
oh,
what you're about
well,
to say.
no, they were making the joke of like, well, you saw all those layoffs. I mean, how many employees does Sony have? Maybe they're just absorbing. So I don't know, but they were just joking. But like,
Wait,
yeah,
absorb it? I don't understand what that means. What are they trying to get at there? Sorry, I'm like
they're just
ripping the
joking
camera from
around
last for me
like
to my brain.
they're joking around saying like, okay, Microsoft had like 2,000 layoffs. Maybe they're just absorbing all of PlayStation.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, not being serious,
Wow.
but like,
That's
but
hysterical.
but like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just
That'd
this
be.
whole thing, I'm not.
I'm pretty sure the FTC and the CMA would love that.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, go
See
on.
Microsoft would get cooked for that. But yeah, I'm not. I'm really not worried. I can't get worried about this stuff until there's an official statement that states something that I should be worried about. And if they release an official statement saying, "Hey, these games are coming to PlayStation," I'm still not worried because it doesn't like I don't care because I'm still going to be
You're
playing
also
it.
an adult.
Yeah, I'm still going to be playing it on console or PC, and
Yep.
like that's like I'm already like I'm locked into the ecosystem, so I'm already there.
Mhm.
So it doesn't affect me. So like I see these people who are like freaking out, like actually losing their mind,
Yeah, like they're going
and like
wild.
and like demanding like here's the thing. I get it. I get what they're doing. Like they're like demanding answers, and I get it. I fucking would like some answers too. But like, dude,
Mhm.
it's I mean, when that shit was happening, I'm sure it's still happening over on Twitter.
What the
But when
heck is Bill referring to in the chat there? What was he referring to?
I have no idea.
Wait, who's
What are
referring
you
to what?
talking about, Bill? Don't
What's
say it
Bill's
out.
going on? Just
I'm not
He's just.
entirely sure.
I wasn't
Uh,
looking at the chat for too long. I don't know.
but
But yeah, sorry, Matt. Continue.
when people were saying like, God, I don't remember.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. But yeah, it's just I don't think it's worth. It's a Sunday afternoon when all this stuff happened. Microsoft's not going to
Yeah.
release a statement on a Sunday afternoon. That's just not going to happen. Now, if this week comes and goes and we still don't have any inkling of anything from Microsoft, then we'll have some serious like what the fuck is going on kind of vibes. But like as of right now, it's the weekend. I don't expect them to make a statement at 9:30 at night on a weekend. I just don't expect it. Uh,
Yeah, like I think you're completely right. I mean, especially like, and I don't like. I've always been one of those people. Do you mind if I give my input? Or are you still? Or I
Go
want to let
ahead.
you finish, so I don't want to cut you off. So essentially, I was always one of those people like, oh, Microsoft. There's always a fucking doom and gloom rumor every single like other week. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
but this one, I feel like, is so out of control that almost like a lot of major gaming news networks, a lot of large Xbox like leakers and stuff are like, no, there's like validity to these rumors. Um, I really think they need to say something. They can even say like, we don't even know yet. I understand that's probably
Yeah.
bad. That's the
Mhm.
thing. That's also bad
Just say
public
like
image,
internal
and will create.
discussions, right? Or I don't know, something,
Yeah,
right?
they could say something like that. We're having
Yeah.
internal discussions, and we'll provide you with more information at a further date. Something
Yeah.
like that. But they need to say something,
Hmm.
and they need to make sure it's very solid wording. I don't know, man. It's kind of they're in a position where, like once again, they can't say like they can't really just say we don't know yet because, but at the
Yeah.
same time though, I'm pretty sure people will read between the lines saying we're having internal discussions like they don't even know yet. Deathward spiral, and that might even cause more problems. So I can only imagine the amount of PR that is being done and being prepped. And
Yeah.
Phil and Sarah,
Prep scripts.
I both love Phil and Sarah. I think they're both awesome. But one thing I mean this is while all of this is happening and the community is like constantly tagging you over and over and over again, you can't be like quote retweet. Look at this awesome game, guys! Like it's like
It's just
it's like
AI
it's
generated, just
it's
fucking.
yeah, like it's like that picture of the dog when it's drinking a cup of coffee while the house is burning down. I'm all
Yeah.
everything's fine. It's like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like not saying that's necessarily it's happening here with Xbox, but I feel this is the one of the few times I've actually kind of felt like, hey, maybe you might say something,
Yeah.
anything, um,
Yeah.
because I feel like this is the one rumor that has not only caught on fire, it got like thrown into like a house made of friggin' paper. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna catch fire and it's gonna like and it's spreading. I mean, we have Xbox centric leakers like like Tom Warren and Jez being like, no, this is a real thing that we're talking about, and it's gonna expand past Hi-Fi Rush, Starfield. Now we're hearing things about Indiana Jones and Jez. Some things
Yeah.
like don't uh you're probably gonna see Halo on there eventually, and it's
Yeah.
like
The Doom
it's at that
game day
point.
one. You know,
Yeah,
day
new
one
Doom
for
game
Duke.
day one, and you're like, oh wait a minute. So I guess
Yeah.
it's just ZeniMax. What's keeping Obsidian from being like, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
why can't Grounded be on PlayStation? You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about? Like they need to say something because it
Yeah.
because the fucking people are losing their goddamn mind. And hell, look at me. Even I'm talking. Normally, I don't really give a shit about these rumors
Hmm.
because of how little it affects me. Hell, it's like I
Yeah.
wonder why I even pay for Game Pass Ultimate. I should really be paying for PC, but it's like sometimes I'll play a 360 game online, so I kind of keep it.
Yeah.
I'll play like Call of Duty 3 online, which is a ton of fun. Sorry,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when
sidetrack.
it comes to COD, like I feel like console's still the way to go for the older Call of Duties. because
Oh,
there's
dude,
still like a
Call of
market.
Duty 3 still has an active community, and it's
Yeah.
fun as shit. Call of Duty 3 is fun as shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, it's so easy. Even just putting like COD 4 on like the Xbox version, you'll still find
Yup.
players pretty,
Yup. Oh my god, dude, it's such great games.
like
Sorry,
on PC,
but
like you can't do that on PC. Like
no,
it's
it's
just
too hacked.
yeah,
Yeah. So it really, I just kind of would hope that at some point soon, this upcoming week, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear until hell even halfway through the week or Friday. I really think they need to get it out sooner. I mean, just also for the sake of, I would love an answer, but
Yeah.
that's just my opinion.
yeah,
Do you think
yeah. But at
again
the end
go
of the day, oh, sorry, go
no, I
on.
was gonna say, do you think going back to
Do you think
the
what?
fact that it's intense internal discussions or debates about this, do you think that this is an Xbox call or do you think that this is a Microsoft call? Because I think it's kind of obvious if this is
It's
true.
definitely a Microsoft call.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah,
Microsoft.
yeah. I
Yes.
don't
Yeah,
think
this is
Phil Spencer
definitely
really
Microsoft.
wants. I don't think Phil Spencer wants really to do any of this personally.
That's
Because he
that's
understands
kind
the
of
the importance of the fan
Yeah,
base. I mean, like
yeah.
having a solid and growing fan base.
hmm
yeah.
Um,
Well, even Phil Spencer, he said the reason why they got Bethesda was, to get exclusives. That was the main driving force behind it. You know, so like he
Yeah.
made that pretty clear, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, clearly it's just Microsoft spent $80 billion. They're like, okay, we got to start seeing the checks come in, right? So I guess they really just want
hey
to get
Matt,
the
I just
money.
want to say real quick, I think the audio desync thing is happening again. It sounds like you're replying to things that happened like 5 seconds after they were said. At least on my end, it does.
Okay. What about now?
Yeah, that's not good.
Testing.
Oh, can you...
Oh yeah, there's like a 3 second delay. At
Okay, one
least on my
second.
end, I don't. It's a bit delay. This
Hello?
happened before when we streamed together. Like, there's this weird delay where it's like he hears me 3 seconds after I say something.
Is it still like that?
Test,
Hello?
test.
Hello?
Perfect. We're good.
All right, that's funny.
Okay.
Just these people watching us just like do like
Ham
technical
says...
fucking work.
Oh, Ham said I don't hear anything, and then he said anything wrong. Like, thanks.
Oh my.
Thanks for clarifying. Goddamn panic.
Wait,
Had a panic
so wait,
attack for a second.
Could you imagine?
Yeah,
oh, we
like
just
Oh,
mute
because
the whole time.
I was
Oh,
about to
just a
say, dude,
mute
that's
screen.
incorrect because there's definitely sound.
yeah.
But yeah,
That's
I mean,
hilarious.
I'd have to agree with you guys. I mean, you both said this is probably a Microsoft call, and I'd
Oh,
have to agree.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, especially the way like I know a lot of people are kind of shitting on him right now. But Aaron Greenberg's post about Starfield being exclusive to Xbox, I'd imagine the Xbox team is probably trying to put up a fight for this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's Microsoft being the big giant corporation that it is,
Mm.
and I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
it's not.
there's a reason why they have a lot of money, So
That's what they care about most, and
yeah,
I mean, here's the thing. Like like I said when I gave my point, I don't care about any of this, but I can totally see why a lot of people
yeah,
do, and it's completely
yeah,
valid. But like
yeah.
just me personally, it doesn't.
Mhm.
I can't get worked up about this. I really can't. But like you see the way the community is getting worked up about this. Microsoft needs to
Yeah,
say something. And here's the thing:
yeah.
what I'm afraid is going to happen is Satya Nadella is going to say something. And the thing is,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they're just gonna make it worse.
even if Satya Nadella, like, because you would assume this is
Yeah,
coming from Satya Nadella. But if he's the
yeah,
one to
Yeah.
say something about this, like nobody wants to hear what he has to say about this. Even though it probably is his call, nobody wants to hear what
yeah,
he has to say. People want to hear from Phil.
Open
People
your
want to hear
recorder.
Yeah,
yeah,
people want to hear from Sarah,
yeah,
Phil, Aaron. They want to hear from those people.
Yeah.
and
The voice of
and
Xbox.
Yeah.
exactly, like they want to, like even if like there are these intense internal discussions, they want to hear that, hey, we're trying, we're trying for you guys, we are, like that's what the community ideally wants to hear. But I just
Yeah.
I got a feeling that when we hear a statement from Microsoft, it's not going to be from Xbox. It's going to be from Satya. It's going to be a signed letter from Satya, and it's not going to read well. I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. It's like
But
we want Nintendo, PlayStation. You know, it's
yeah, like
yeah.
because Satya is the
Yeah.
kind of like he's a legit businessman, and he's the kind of guy who I think in this situation
Yeah.
will say some shit like "get over it." He's that kind of
Yeah.
person, and I don't think
You know
that's
what?
gonna.
You like? I have like I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on for a sec.
Yeah,
I'm thinking maybe possibly like they want to have these games multi-platform for the potential of them even buying another publisher and be like, hey, you know, we're multi-platform. You know, we're not
yeah.
making exclusive. So yeah, so like, what's stopping them, right? It's like
I
they're
mean,
gonna buy
that's
because like
definitely a
Having a
theory.
monopoly.
right,
I mean, that is true though. If I mean, it would at least take a little bit out of the weight of that. But at that
yeah,
point, if they buy another massive. That's a word.
yeah, let's buy EA. You know, fuck it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I really don't know what their game plan is outside of just get more money from people buying games.
Yeah,
But yeah,
But I
we'll
mean, it's a
see.
good look for them if they want to buy, like I said, they want to buy someone like EA. They're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna make them games exclusive, but it's like, no, we're not making them exclusive. We haven't made all these other games exclusive, you know.
Yeah,
So why would we make EA games exclusive? So they just want that goodwill from all these fucking what do you call them, like CMA and all that kind of shit. So the FTC, right?
yeah,
I
So
mean,
maybe they just want the goodwill, for all you know.
maybe that's valid. Maybe that's something they're actually thinking about.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
yeah,
assuming it's something you have to think about because they did say they're
yeah,
still looking to buy. Like they're not done buying things.
yeah,
Uh, but it's like I just feel like you got to make, like we all said, you got to make a statement. You got to make some sort
yeah.
of statement. It's got to be soon. It can't be. I know, like we were talking earlier, they were saying like, "Oh, we'll hear about it in spring." You
Yeah.
can't be talking. You can't wait till spring to talk about this shit. You cannot because the
Yeah,
community.
because yeah, they're just gonna go into
It's
maximum overdrive.
it's a
Yeah.
random fucking Sunday, and the community's about to kill each other. Everyone's about to kill each other.
Everyone's changing the profile
it's
picture.
Lord of the
You know,
Flies
it's
out on
fucking-
Twitter right now,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah, it's not good.
About to pull a piggy and
And
throw
if
him
it's
off a
like
cliff.
if it's like this after a month of these rumors,
That's
God,
over, yeah.
imagine after 4 months. Imagine after five
Dude.
months of these rumors. It's
Yeah.
gonna be disgusting.
It'll be like
People are
trench
gonna
warfare. People will be on their sides just fighting the same shit every single day until we get an answer.
yeah.
Yeah,
Until we see an end in
you know
sight.
Nicola on Nicola, whatever his name is. He's like he has this tweet where he says my PS5 is ready. He's like apologize now. You know the
Yeah.
tweet where he's like my PS5 is ready. You just
You're
like
gonna
apologize.
you're gonna see a lot of tweets like
Yeah,
that, and you're gonna see a lot of people in the
yeah,
replies very angry. Like it's gonna be
yeah.
not good. Uh, so yeah, hopefully we get some sort of statement this week, even some sort of hint that hey, we're working on, even a statement saying hey, we're working on it. If it just something to acknowledge that everything is happening right now, so that people can at least feel like it's being acknowledged. Because this whole staying silent thing isn't working.
No, it's just making it worse, honestly.
Yeah, Vincent Vegas says I'd call that a feast, but then again, Xbox is an app to me, and I mean, that's probably the way a lot of people feel, honestly.
Mm.
And here's the thing: Microsoft probably isn't. In fact, they probably love that you feel that way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's probably more profitable.
exactly,
It probably helps them sustain more profits as you see them as an app. And at this point, I see them as an app too. An app that kind of sucks ass most of the time. I mean, this Game Pass app can kind of kiss my ass, but yeah, I mean,
sure.
yeah, I think he's right.
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting though. We'll definitely see. Hopefully next week when we're having a show, we can talk about their statement. I got my fingers crossed that
That'd
that's
be
the case.
nice. Yeah.
Phil
Because
Spencer
dude,
says Game Pass is shutting down, Xbox is shutting down.
Yeah.
Run for your lives.
It's all it's like I'm resigning. He's just leaving, straight up gone. Just there's no head of Xbox. It's just run by nobody. Just
we gave all of our studios to PlayStation. Bye.
yeah, but Don Matrix's back. It's like
that's another thing too. I wonder if these are all, Microsoft decisions, what maybe Phil is fighting for this, and if he can't win it, maybe he does just be like, yo,
yeah, fuck it,
I'm
yeah,
I'm done.
yeah.
And if that's the case, then does that start a fucking like a
An
domino
Xbox
effect of
Civil War.
Yeah.
does start domino does Sarah Bond say, hey guys, I'm out? Does Aaron
Yeah.
Greenberg say, I'm not staying here?
Yeah.
fuck it.
Like what? Like I don't know, dude. It's gonna be an
Yeah, it's gonna be a
interesting.
shit show. Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting month. It's gonna be a really interesting month. Mister Bills and the chat says the next Xbox showcase will be interesting. Yeah, that's and see that's the thing. This is
And then a
why
PS5 showcase.
this is why you can't make that statement in the spring. You can't make that statement anywhere near Hellblade, and you can't make that statement anywhere near your showcase, because
Imagine
those are.
if they made that. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Go on.
No, I was gonna say because those are positive news beats for your business and for your fans, quite honestly, who help contribute to your business. Now, if you make that state, like if Hellblade releases and it's like critically acclaimed, one of the best, even like it's the best game of the year or some shit,
Mm-hmm.
and then on top of that you have, oh, but guys, it's coming to PlayStation, and so is everything else. You got to announce that. You got to announce that months before that happens. You have to.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow, but it's gonna be a lot tougher if you announce it side by side. So
Yeah, like that. You were saying that to me the other day, Matt. Like announcing that right next to Hellblade 2 launching or something else that's about, or like the gaming events and all that is just I don't know if they're hoping they're going to do it in a way that it can kind of get smothered out, like, all the awesome announcements, but I don't know. Like,
yeah,
and once again, like, I completely agree with what you said too about it might not just even be Satya Nadella. Is that how it's pronounced?
yeah, Satya.
Uh, um, it might not even just be Xbox or the ZeniMax guys. It could be really him. It really could. Like, it's possible. I mean,
Yeah,
it could be possible. He's like, this is what needs to happen. And there's people in the Xbox that work in the Xbox, that work at Xbox that are kind of like, well, that's not really how this operates. Like, the whole point is of pushing Game Pass and pushing active users, the database, all that nonsense. But he could be like, well, I want the profits now rather than later.
yeah, and to be honest, he seems like the kind of guy who would do that.
Mhm.
And no slight to him. I mean, he's a very successful businessman, but it's like he seems like he's willing to make those kind of sacrifices to make money. So we'll see how it all plays out. We'll definitely see. But all I know is it's gonna be an interesting month, and hopefully not because of this all month. Hopefully we get this out of the way early on in the month. But knowing Microsoft, that probably won't be the case. We'll probably be talking about this for a good long while. So buckle in, I suppose, because this is now reality. But yeah, I mean that was the big topic for today. I don't think there's really much else to dive into that desperately needs talked about.
At the end of the day, like, none of this really affects me. Like, I got all the consoles. I'm actually kind of looking forward to playing Hyper Rush on PS5. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
Sure.
who knows? I mean, those fucking DualSense features are gonna probably be pretty sick. With like imagine like the beat goes with the DualSense. Like that would be pretty sick.
That would be pretty cool.
But at the end
And
of the
like
day,
that, an
like I can't.
experience you can't have on Xbox
Yeah,
too,
that's
by the way.
I was about to say, right? I mean, like, it's gonna just be a little embarrassing for Xbox that the game is technically gonna have more bells and whistles on their competitor's platform.
Oh,
I mean,
also,
like,
to bring up a point you said earlier before the stream, Twan, imagine if a
yeah,
PS5 Pro comes out and a new
yeah,
Xbox IP launch,
hmm
a game or whatever launches, and it's
yeah,
day and date, and it runs better on the Pro than over the
yeah,
Series X.
yeah. So it's
Like,
over. It's over. Like,
yeah, it's like
yeah, it's done.
that
Yeah.
would just be beyond unexcusable at that point.
Yeah. Like
Um,
if someone's only can only get one console, right? I would just say get a PS5. Like, why would you get an Xbox? It's like you're just giving yourself less options because you're going to
I
be able
mean,
to play more. And
personally, I'd
not
tell them,
only going to be able to play more, but they're going to be even better on the PlayStation, you know?
to do the smart thing and just build a gaming PC, but we're all built a little different.
You know,
Anyway, I'm
some
sorry,
people just
Twan, keep
want to
going.
get a console, you know, they want like
Yeah.
what console should I get? Be like,
We'll buy an
no.
Ouya. It's the
Yeah.
future of gaming.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just
Oh my
yeah,
god.
it's a very tough position that they're gonna put themselves in if they really do this. Because like I said, they're gonna get to a point where their games are better on the competition. It's like it's gonna get to that point if they really fall through with this, and it's just not a good look. I mean, like Hi-Fi Rush is gonna be a great example right off the bat, where it's like, yeah, there's more bells and whistles on the PS5, you know. So I don't know, man. It's I don't
And you
know.
can
It's a
have it
really
physically.
Yeah. Oh, if it's a physical copy, it's over. Like it's all
Mhm.
over if there's a physical copy like on PS5, but not on Xbox. Like they gotta have an Xbox physical copy if they're gonna make a physical on PS5. But then again, what's that other game? As Dust Falls, that game came out on PS5, and that's getting a physical copy only on PS5 when that launched first on Xbox. You know, so it's just I don't know what the hell's going on, man. It's so bad.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows what's going on, quite honestly.
I don't even think Phil Spencer knows what's going on. Like he's probably, like I said, it's probably just a constant battle at Microsoft right now. So who knows?
Well, I mean, hopefully we don't gotta wait too long to figure it all out.
You know,
So, I don't know, guys, but I mean,
How long have we been talking for?
oh, it's been about an hour. It's been
Jesus,
almost
I
exact
feel like it's been
59 minutes 30 seconds.
time doesn't make sense to me. I swear to God, it felt like 2 hours.
Yeah, 59 minutes 30 seconds. Oh
I
man, but
mean,
I think,
before we get out of here, I just want to ask a quick question. Is there any other
Yeah.
news that happened this week?
dude, I don't even know.
Honestly, I
I
don't
mean,
know either. This shit's
this
kind
shit
of,
kind of
could not
overshadowed,
tell you.
honestly.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
everything's
mostly-
been overshadowed by this. I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
what happened this week. Phil Spencer. I know Phil Spencer liked Jess's tweet about an Xbox handheld.
Well,
Yeah.
But I outside of that, it's mostly this. It's mostly this. But yeah, anything
Get
else
out,
you guys?
on out of here.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you anything you guys wanted to add before we get out of here.
I'm all set. Do you have anything, Twan?
rip Xbox, I guess. I don't know. Yeah,
All right,
Buy an Ouya.
yeah.
you heard it here
Buy a
first.
PSP Go.
PSP Go.
Vita means life.
Yeah, means oh my God, don't fucking break my heart again.
Was the PSP Go the Sony Ericsson?
The what now? No, the
'cause I-
PSP Go was a
What?
separate thing. No, the PSP Go was like a digital only PSP.
Yeah, it was like an actual PSP. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about now. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
But yeah,
I had
yeah,
the
there was like a
Sony
phone.
Ericsson. That was essentially
Yeah.
a PSP Go.
Yeah, so there was like that phone that like slid up, and no, it was kind of like a PSP Go, like you said, right? And it could
Yeah.
like natively play PS1 games, which was pretty cool though. So that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I
I was
think I
thinking
saw
about
that
getting one of those. Like, would it be possible to use that as a phone today? Like, would that be
I would,
possible?
I'd pull that out and I'd pull so many. That's all I'm gonna say.
Like, if I put my SIM card in that phone, like, would it function? Like, I don't know.
Wow.
Like, I gotta do that. That's gonna be my next experiment.
I would fucking lose my mind if they made a new Vita. I would actually.
Yeah,
I
Vincent
love.
Vega in the chat
Wasn't there
said,
actually some rumors about like another like handheld PlayStation?
Yeah,
console or
Vincent
something?
Vega in the chat mentioned Vita 2 rumors and the Moore's
Yeah.
Law is dead leaks. The thing about that, Vincent, is Moore's Law is dead. I don't trust anything he says ever.
Yeah.
because like he's if I'm not mistaken, I could be thinking about somebody else, but I'm like almost certain he's like consistently wrong about everything he speculates on.
So am I, but people still listen to me. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, but you're funny though.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm hilarious.
So,
but yeah, I don't know if he's the one that did the Vita 2 leak though. I don't know if that was actually him. I know he was Xbox, Intel, Nvidia thing, but I don't know if he was the Vita 2 leak. I thought that was somebody else. I don't know.
no, he leaked a PlayStation handheld.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking into it, but I wouldn't I don't believe he'd be the one with that information. At least what
I
don't
just
know.
don't think it makes like I would love it, but I just don't think it makes sense based entirely on the fact like what are you gonna tell all your studios to make two different versions of the game? Because you're not gonna make like a handheld that's as powerful as a PS5 or a PS6. That's not gonna happen. So are you gonna tell like, hey, you gotta make I don't know, fuck, Last of Us Part 3 for PS6, but you also got to make it for a handheld. I mean, I don't I don't know how that would work. That seems like a lot of work, a lot of extra work, and a lot of money to be spent. Uh,
Money that they might not even have at the moment, really. I'm not saying they're
yeah.
about to go broke, but like they got their own stuff they're trying to figure out at the moment.
He says yes, but Moore's Law is that it has industry connections. He's a con artist for the industry.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's like, there's a lot of people with industry connections. Funny enough, it turns out. But yeah, I don't. Here, I would love for it to happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the whole thing with the Xbox handheld is more likely simply because Phil Spencer liked Jez's tweet about it. So I mean, and I would assume Phil Spencer has a pretty good idea, hopefully, of what's going on inside Xbox. So we'll
You've
see.
locked him out. It says Sadia on there now. He's just locked out. He's not allowed in the office
They
anymore.
swapped out his key card while he was sleeping.
Yeah.
He
He's
hasn't
not
been
allowed in there.
Phil Spencer hasn't been on Microsoft campus in 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh my god! But yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Twan, let them know where they can find you, bud, and what you're up to.
You can find me here every Sunday, I guess. On the what's the show called again? L3R3.
It's
What's it
called
called?
it's called
They
Sacred
go through a
Symbols.
million names. Sacred
It's called-
symbols. Yep. The real sacred symbols.
Sacred
It's
symbols.
called
That's
Sacred
funny.
Symbols podcast.
Yeah, that's funny. And yeah, I mean, I'm on Twitter. It's Twan. That's about it, honestly. Yeah.
Nice, Mike. Let them know.
Personally, I don't really have a social media presence at the moment.
You just
I
gonna-
haven't been streaming on my Twitch either. I mean, I sometimes stream over on Twitch at Hard Days Mike, but really outside of that, I mean, I kind of really don't use Twitter anymore. I'm hardly ever on that. Kind of honestly deactivate that every once in a while just because I don't need to see that crap.
That's not
All the nonsense on my feed.
That's not true.
So, Matt, will you shut your goddamn mouth? but, but yeah, I mean, so basically, really, you only see me here next week.
At Hard Days Mike. Okay.
Oh my God, I hate you. I don't use Twitter.
Well, that's not true. As for myself, you can find me at Matt Likes Games.
No, you can't.
Or actually, you know what? Better yet, find me at Hard Days Mike on Twitter.
I hate you.
You can also find me on Twitch at Hard Days Mike. Again, I stream there quite regularly. But no, on Twitter at Matt Likes Games, on YouTube Matt Likes Games videos every Monday and Friday. Wednesdays is a 2-player podcast at 2 p.m. Eastern with Ham Solo, and then Sundays here at 8 p.m. Eastern we'll be doing the L3R3 podcast with myself, Mike, and Twan, and you will see us here next week. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.
Matt smells.